So welcome back to obviously Fight Talk, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see. If you're on audio, we are joined not by the best, but there's nobody better up. Brendan Dorman back on OFT.
I agree.
Awesome.
Let's go.
The fights at the weekend, Brendan, we were not too plussed by, but UFC on Fox 30, Alvarez, Poirier 2. Both men have gone off and had a fight, a couple of fights in between. Well, one has had a couple, one has had one. So Eddie Alvarez beat Justin Gaethje, and Dustin Poirier recently beat Justin Gaethje. So MMA maths and calculations and rematches and non-contests. Just how excited are we for this fight? Because there will be violence.
I think it's a great fight.
Yeah,
it needed to happen because remember. I forget. You know what? I don't remember it. I didn't have time today to rewatch it. Like I don't remember the exact sequence how it played out. Was it Dustin that need Eddie or Eddie that need Dustin?
It was Eddie need Dustin.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
But then Eddie didn't want the rematch, which was kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I think at first anyway. Mm. So this has felt like a fight kind of overdue a tad.
Yeah.
Because it should have been kind of expedient. You know.
100%.
100%. Yeah.
So it's interesting. The last one, if it's anything like the last one started, it
should be great.
Should be fucking amazing. Those guys aren't, they're not timid. It won't be an Ngannou Derek Lewis affair, you know. I think it's a wonderful fight. I see a finish.
Yeah.
I just don't see him pacing it out. I see a war right from the jump.
Yeah, it's definitely a fight that had to happen. Like they were always ranked, one apart.
Yeah.
Like wherever they were pretty much always ranked one apart. I think they're 3 and 4 now or something close to that. At least on Tapology they are. So UFC rankings, I'm not sure. Not that it really matters, but it was definitely a fight that had to happen. Not just because it makes sense for the division, but the first fight was so good and we didn't get a conclusive ending. We didn't get the ending that we should have got.
What I liked about the first fight was both of the fighters had amazing moments in the fight, and then there was a big momentum swing, and then we got robbed of it with the no contest. But like when you look at, again, we can look at Justin Gaethje. They both coming off fighting Justin Gaethje. So let's look at that. Like if you look at Eddie Alvarez, it was an absolute war. Yeah, and he probably, he did. It was the first fighter to ever break Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje tries to break his opponent. But you could argue the fact that Alvarez was in a much more of a war against Gaethje than Poirier was.
Yeah.
Alvarez was badly hurt to the legs. He was badly injured by the time the fight. They reckon he wouldn't have came out for the next round and stuff like that. But Alvarez, that was back in December, so he's taken a long time off, 7 months. I'm delighted to see that as well. Poirier, big wins over Pettis and Gaethje as well. So Poirier, you got to say, is looking better and better at 55. Like we're saying, we're expecting them fast here. Alvarez is more of a brawler, but he's a technical brawler, if that makes sense. While Poirier is more the crisp striker. Is that what we're looking to see? You always use the expression about fundamentals and straight shots, and Eddie tends to can win. Do you see a striking advantage here for Poirier, or are they on the same levels as one another?
Okay, yeah, I would say Dustin's definitely. You're absolutely right with like the straight line. Like he's very like you watch him shadow box, and his footwork's kind of, he's light on his feet. He's boxing savvy. Like what an L step. I don't know if you know what an L step is, but since he's a southpaw, it's like when you step back and then here, so it makes an L. Like he's constantly doing that. Conor kind of caught him on it because Conor switches up his footwork a lot. Eddie has great footwork too, but they're very different. His is like, if you wanted to watch what MMA footwork should look like, Eddie's is like precise. Yeah. Dustin's is kind of more of a striking based, boxing based even, because it's not like Muay Thai or anything. He's not like constantly lifting up his knee or anything to check kicks, but he's straighter with his shots, a little more crisp. But I don't know that he has the same arsenal that Eddie does. Eddie will bust out some crazy shit. So sometimes it looks ridiculous, like front flips at the end of the rounds, but Dustin's pretty, 1, 2, 3 leg kick. His attacks aren't. He doesn't get too crazy with spinning back fists and stuff. Yeah. So Eddie's a little more unpredictable. Maybe definitely more power, I would say too, because like the RDA fight probably is testament to that. Dustin's more of a crack, patient. He's gotten a little more patient with his finishes, and then he'll just like the Gaethje fight, for instance, right? But he he did better picking him apart than Eddie did. Eddie came this close to, losing his leg in that fight. You got to wonder with both of them, chin-wise, Dustin's has held up pretty much for the past X amount of fights.
Yeah, since moving up to lightweight, you probably think Michael Johnson is the only time that you question his chin. So would you put that down to weight cutting and, dehydrating the old nugget?
Maybe
P head.
Maybe, yeah. I just think, I think that when you're not cutting weight, I definitely think that you're a more healthy guy. You can take a better shot, I'm sure.
I just have to put disclaimer. I am jokingly calling him P head.
Yeah, I know.
Disclaimer.
Don't worry, he might unblock you at some point. I thought your point was block them.
He's blocked me on Twitter.
Oh,
Dustin Poirier.
Because you call him a P head?
I quoted Conor McGregor. I had Conor McGregor and then the quote, and I got blocked.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll no comment that.
Yeah, let's move on. I thought your point was really good about the difference between both guys. I think Poirier, if you watch that first fight, I rewatched it last night. If you watch that first fight, for the first 2 rounds, up until the flurry when Poirier actually hurt him, Poirier looked like the way better striker, like the much better striker. He came out and against a orthodox fighter, Poirier comes out as a southpaw and he threw that left kick to the body and obviously the left hand, which Poirier is great with. And he almost looked like when McGregor picked Alvarez apart. Remember when that happened? It almost looked similar enough to that with the left hand, but he was setting up with the jab.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Everything's accurate.
Exactly.
It's like, don't throw 100%. Throw things at like 60. Until you connect everything at 60.
Yeah.
We'll use a number because you don't know exactly what your number is. But, he doesn't go in and he's not that kind of guy. He's very, slick.
Yeah.
And I think he's younger than most think because he's kind of a veteran now.
Yeah,
but
he's been around.
I believe he's in his late 20s, but like 28 maybe.
Yeah.
Party.
You can fact check.
29.
Yeah, maybe
29.
a little older.
29.
Yeah, there you go. So sub 30. So he's not technically in his prime yet. Not really. He's got another like 3 years in that realm, maybe more. Maybe 4.
I think you could argue with Dustin Poirier as well, though. Like each fight, and again, it's a lot of MMA fans when they see a highlight enough or they think about it, it tends to last longer in their minds, So the Michael Johnson highlight obviously is there, and the Conor McGregor highlight knocking him out, and that seems to, every time people think of Dustin Poirier, they think it's that guy.
Yeah.
But he has evolved so much as a fighter. Like when you look at his last 3 wins, it's Jim Miller, Anthony Pettis, and Justin Gaethje. They're really, really good wins.
Yeah, and as I was getting on that point was that Poirier, when he's not in a brawl, I think he's way better. And I think the problem that he had in that fight was once he got dragged into that brawl, once he hurt Eddie Alvarez, he started opening up the way he used to open up all the time with his hands down. And Alvarez must be probably the best fighter when hurt that I've seen in the UFC.
Gaethje, maybe.
I think Alvarez
and him are similar.
I think
I know what you mean.
I think Alvarez is better just for the fact.
I believe
that
I said that in the breakdown of Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez.
You did, and it came to truth. But I just think that I feel like he throws the better shots while hurt. Throws the way better shots while hurt, the more accurate shots. Like that shot that he caught Poirier with, that little hook that hurt him. Like Poirier wasn't even hurt, and he was throwing all these wild punches while Alvarez just covered up and landed a nice shot that hurt him. So I think that once it gets to that brawl, I think I favour Alvarez. Whereas if Poirier can keep it a bit more technical on the outside, I definitely favour Poirier a lot more.
He's long. I mean, he's longer. Yeah. It looks it anyway. I don't know what the numbers are.
I think it's 69 inch reach for Alvarez and 73 for Poirier. 73 for Poirier.
70. Okay,
73.
So it's not that different, but 73. It looks it.
73.
So 73. Oh, that's long. Yeah. Okay. So for that weight class, it's relatively long. Yeah, it's definitely long. So if he can keep him at the end of his punches like he does when he's on and keep it accurate, what's interesting is one of Eddie's best punches back in the day used to be like in his wars with Chandler, for example. He throws this beautiful right fade left.
Yeah.
Under a counter, and he'll throw it sometimes against southpaws. I thought that would be like kind of one of the X Factor exchanges with Conor.
Yeah.
But he was throwing it just really sloppily. Like he had no escape route,
Yeah.
He'd throw it and like fall forward. Obviously, Conor's kind of snake charming added to that, right? So Conor made him look really bad, but he recovered really fast the first time he got clipped. It was like, holy shit, already? But then he looked fine, but he went back to doing the same shit that Conor already had.
There was a similar moment in the Poirier fight. There was a very, very similar moment in that Poirier fight where Poirier kept landing to the body with the kick, and he kept landing his jab, and then he kept landing that left hand, and then once Alvarez got a little bit frustrated, he tried to throw that exact same punch, and Poirier caught him, and that was the punch that actually hurt Alvarez the first time.
The right escape left.
Yeah. Almost that rush.
It's beautiful
punch.
if he does it right, but if he doesn't against like a southpaw that knows, because Dustin's got a great check hook, one of the better ones in the business.
Yeah, he was landing
Nate
that too.
Diaz is another one. Like they throw that pivot hook, and if you throw that correctly against that punch, or there's a fading hook, where if you're southpaw, you would fade through the punch to create angle. You know, it's like you move with the momentum of the punch. And if you do that into your straight, too, that's your best weapon against an orthodox fighter if you're open stanced, you know?
Yeah.
I know I'm getting a little technical here, but I'm just saying, like, the X factor might be the straight twos from both. You know, it's been in the past for both.
What do we think of the wrestling game here? Because I know, like, Alvarez, legit credentials as well, but remember against Joe Duffy, Poirier really utilised his ground game, and that was one of the most impressive fights Poirier against Joseph Duffy.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to touch it. I really don't. No. I don't think it's going to go near the wrestling at all. No. I don't know why. I just don't.
I think with wasn't Duffy a really good boxer or something?
Boxer, yeah.
He's got, because he looked like he had pretty good striking. He didn't have the best defense, but he had really good offense. Like great hands.
Yeah, he left MMA. He started.
So maybe with that, he wanted to nullify him a tad.
Yeah. He started in MMA, Duffy, and then he moved and he went to professional boxing for like what 6-7 fights. Had 6-7 fights in pro boxing, then he moved back to MMA. So he had really good hands.
He's got great hands. So in that case, Dustin was smart to grapple with him because I think he's a traditional jiu-jitsu, Japanese jiu-jitsu black belt. Yeah. So the grappling's a little different because I hate to say victim of that art too, but it's not the same as Brazilian jiu-jitsu because you're not rolling, you're not sparring enough.
Yeah.
So it's not the same as being a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's not even comparable.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, if Poirier, and his last fight I thought was really good because when he hurt Gaethje, although he did open up a little bit, and I think Gaethje doesn't really throw the smartest shots when he's hurt. I think Alvarez is better in that way. I think if he fights like that, and he fights like the first 2 rounds, or the first round and a half that he did against Alvarez, I think he beats Alvarez. Not easily, but I think it's a handy looking fight for him. I really do. I think that first round, I didn't think Alvarez had anything for Poirier in that first round. Anything.
So you were sneaky. You rewatched it last night, so it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah. I rewatched, and just looking at what he was landing, and pretty much exactly what you were talking about. He was landing that check hook at will. He was landing his left straight that Conor was landing on him at will. He was landing his jab at will. The only thing I will say is in the Poirier and Gaethje fight, and happened in the Alvarez fight as well, but Gaethje was landing some lovely inside leg kicks on Poirier, and he hurt his leg as well. He obviously hurt Alvarez's leg a lot more.
He's hurt everyone he's ever fought with those.
Yeah, I suppose. But I think Alvarez would be smart to go for that because Alvarez couldn't land anything at range. So I think if he goes
Alvarez
to the leg,
Alvarez was doing that, or Gaethje?
No, Gaethje was hurting Poirier with the inside leg kick in their fight. Yeah, so I think it'd be smart for Alvarez to go to that because Alvarez didn't really have a whole lot of range for Poirier when they fought. But yeah, I'm picking Poirier. I think Poirier finishes him.
Hey Rob, let me just go nerd one more time on you, just because this is valuable information for people that listen that want it.
Yeah.
So that leg kick, if you're in open stance, if it's your right leg, like Gaethje's is always his right leg for an inside on a southpaw, right? You don't hitch as much as normal, right? Because you're kind of cut kicking, like where you're coming up at an angle to it. Right, rather than hitch down, like axe to tree motion, which is how you throw against a leg stance. With that said, he does it from the clinch often, so he'll get close, like Ernesto Hu style, and kind of backstep and slap it. So in other words, there's not a lot of space to make the read as the opponent because you're worried about the uppercut. So you're trying to you're blocking your own line of vision down. Automatically, it's from the clinch, and that's hence why it's so effective for Gaethje. And he lands it so often. It's not just the actual technique; it's the road there. The setup. That word's a little overused, but with that said, this is a different thing. Eddie's low kicks aren't all that powerful, and he's got to get inside to do that. Yeah. And if you throw a right leg kick to a right leg from the open stance, and that's where that left straight is fighting. It's like you would key off his hit. He's not Israel Adesanya where he's going to hit feint and load a jab off of it. Like neither of them are quite, Well, they're not even close, but they're not that level of striking. So I don't see it. I see it being a boxing match with some body kicks, maybe. You know,
For you,
no one's like, I don't see anyone's leg getting like tore up.
yeah.
You know,
For you with that like open stance, obviously the jab would be very important for Poirier because of that huge reach, and he obviously had a problem. Alvarez had a problem with it in the first round. What would you say to Alvarez? How does he negate that then? And when he had
you're right straight, but not. For once, like, you got to exit to the left, but you got to do it intelligently. He's got to learn to throw longer and pivot off of the retraction. So you throw it too, and as you pull it back, it's like you pivot with it. You know, in other words, you throw straight, you cut, and then you're at a 45. Then you can maybe throw a second one, or you can jab off that and keep your distance reset. He's able to do that. He just has to do it. This is rule of thumb. It's always hooks and crosses, right? If you're an orthodox fighter against a southpaw, you tend to throw like an arching 3 over the jab if you can. But Eddie's not long enough to pull that punch off. There's no way. Like, you usually parry into an overhand 3-2, and your 2 is your best weapon. As a southpaw, it's usually your check hook and your straight to left. Those are taking kicks out. Those are your best weapons normally. So it could come down to those fundamental things. And it's not, I would think at this point, both of them, I know Mark Henry is with Eddie, so he certainly knows. I'm sure they're working on crazy shit. And Dustin's at a great camp too, at ATT, so it's not like they're not getting the advice. You know?
Plus they saw it already. They had a fight. They saw what happened in the first one. So I'm sure Alvarez is looking at other things. But like, if you're looking back and watching that one, I just think Poirier, what he did in that first round, if he can replicate that and if Alvarez can change it, I think he wins the fight.
He looked like the better striker. Period. He was cleaner.
Yeah, like,
I think you're going to see Eddie Alvarez in the face of Dustin Poirier and have Dustin Poirier.
You'd hope so. You'd hope so.
He's not going to allow Poirier, if he keeps it in kickboxing range. I think everything that you guys have said is going to come to fruition. But I think you're going to see if an oncoming forward express in Eddie Alvarez. I think he's going to keep a high pace. I think he's going to change levels and try to take Poirier down in off the strikes, maybe even just to give him a different look. But I see Eddie Alvarez getting it because that fight. The momentum swung in that fight. Yeah. The first fight. When you were watching it, I was blown away by Dustin Poirier. I was like, holy shit, who was masked Dustin Poirier here? But I don't know. I think Eddie Alvarez has had a good layoff after Gaethje. His body will have recovered, while Poirier was only 3 months ago he fought Justin Gaethje. So I think Eddie Alvarez recovery time, I think he's going to be coming forward with momentum. Can Poirier fight off his back foot? Like what you were saying with the L step that you're saying, can he step and get out of there, create angles and get away? Will he have to do that? If he does, that's where he could tire Alvarez out by using his momentum against him with counter strikes. But I just fancy Eddie Alvarez here. And
it could happen. I do think that he can fight off his back foot. I think we've seen enough of it in the first fight. I think that check hook he was landing just completely stopped Alvarez in his tracks. I think we're going to see something similar. But
I disagree. Eddie Alvarez,
unbelievable fight.
I'll make a quick one on this. Just on instinct, for whatever reason. It's not because technically, like, this is one of those brain versus gut instinct things. But I just have a feeling Eddie's gonna fight. He's gonna try to slow the fight down a tad and win via infighting.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's just how I see it going. But
it's an awesome fight.
We'll see. Nothing's gonna. It's one of those not much will surprise me fights. You know.
Co-main event sees 2 arcs, one going this way and one going that way. We've got the former king of the featherweight division and Jose Aldo taking on Jeremy Stephens.
Interesting fight.
Jose Aldo on the back of 2 heavy ground and pound defeats to the new champion in Max Holloway. Jeremy Stevenson, that's what I'm talking about. Arcs, it seems that Jose has gone down and Stevenson is climbing. Gilbert Melendez, Dong Ho Choi and Josh Emmett. That knockout of Josh Emmett.
Scary stuff.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
We were just talking about Hendo Bisping last week, you know?
Similar.
It's almost like that.
Yeah, it was just nasty. You don't want to show your parents that.
My question here is Jose Aldo done at that level, or is this a fight that Jose Aldo, it's a good fight where Stephens isn't the fastest in the world, where Jose Aldo's speed, movement, in and out style will win. The heavy leg kicks, will he have to go back to them? Why has he abandoned them so much? Can he
I've been asking that too long.
Will he chop the legs down on Jeremy Stephens, or is this just a case that Jeremy Stephens is the rising out of the 2? He is the one that is on the rise, and can he get probably the biggest name of his career a win over the biggest name in his career.
I think we lost Brendan. Hopefully he comes back.
No.
No, we got him.
He's coming back.
here.
He's back.
He didn't even say
I
a
got the
word.
trick, I think.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So, go ahead, Brendan. I think you heard the
You want
question.
me to start it?
Yeah,
Go start.
please.
So this is the litmus test, I think, for Aldo finally.
Yeah.
Because Holloway's beaten everyone, right?
Yeah.
And even in the Conor fight, we've gone over this a million times.
Yeah.
It's super impressive. Obviously, he won. I'm not taking anything away. It's just we
14
didn't get to
seconds.
see him move around much. So we didn't get a read on.
We were
it.
robbed. We were robbed.
We're robbed of a good fight, yeah.
No one got robbed.
we were robbed.
I
No,
felt
no.
robbed of a fight.
That's what I mean.
That's what we
know?
mean, yeah. We
We
were
were
robbed
robbed
of
of-
we
we
were
were
robbed
robbed
of that fight in so many ways.
I felt that same way. The
Yeah.
adrenaline dump was like
Yeah.
scary. Felt like I just fought. You know, it was odd. Anyway, so besides those,
Like
right? Oh, no one finished Aldo. No one really even put him on shaky legs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Stevens has the power to.
Oh, yeah.
Now here's the thing. Conor beat everyone at 145.
Yeah.
You know,
Except Jeremy
and then
Stevens.
it is what it is. And Aldo, up until Conor, had beaten everyone at 145,
Yeah.
including the USADA era.
Yeah.
Who knows whether or not where he was on that
He was well on the
side
scale.
of things, right? I know you ran from him once, allegedly.
Yeah.
Well on
This
the
is the
scale.
test, man. Because this guy's not Max, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy Stevens is amazing. He's such a good fighter, and he's a fun guy to root
No
for.
disrespect.
He's just a savage motherfucker.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see where Jose Aldo's at. Is he going to gas after the first? He still looked really fast against Holloway.
Yeah, but I think
especially
that-
the first round in the first fight. But
I think though, Brendan, that's because Max Holloway let him start that way. Max Holloway.
Me too.
Max Holloway almost starts like a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah.
You know, round 1 and 2, where it's just, hey, this is fun, isn't it?
But I guess
And
what
then
Brendan
it's-
means he still
Yeah,
looked
he
like
did
he
look
had
good.
the speed. Like it still was there.
He looked fucking
yeah, he
unbelievable
didn't
against
look like
Frankie.
he forgot how to move. Is my
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
You know, he
Should've
threw a
won.
beautiful bolo punch that Max did not allow him to land.
Yeah,
that
he
landed
let
hard.
him land.
But he didn't follow it with a leg kick. You're fanboying.
He's
He let
just being
him.
an ass to be an ass.
Yeah, I am.
No, I know he is.
Yeah.
But they're the same.
Yeah.
So if you throw that bolo punch and then he threw a hook afterwards, and then it was like, where's the Dutchie? Where the fuck is that
Yeah.
beautiful leg kick?
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't done that since
weird.
like, I think Lamas was the last time he used his leg kick effectively. That was his weapon, man.
Yeah.
For most of his career, that was. I think back to like Faber and the football underneath his skin
Yeah.
of a hematoma that he gave him. You know,
Awful stuff.
he hasn't. Dude, I looked it up. He's had 2 finishes in the last 8 years. Aldo.
Fuck. That's insane.
Do you think though he
2
might have
finishes in
injured?
8 years.
Do you think he's
Think about-
broke his foot or something with a
I
bad
don't
kick
know.
or something?
I don't know.
previously?
They
That
didn't
he's
really
afraid
seem-
to throw it.
I don't know. There didn't seem to be a moment when he fought somebody that they figured out how to deal with that, because it was just one of them lightning kicks that he set up
No
his punches.
tell,
There was
just
no tell.
bang.
And it wasn't like somebody figured it out and he was like, "Oh, I need to change this." It was just kind of stopped. It was weird.
He just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Very like it's bizarre to me. That and him not using his jiu-jitsu are the 2 most anomalous things about Aldo.
Yeah, it's weird.
And he bested Cobrinha. Like that's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioners pound for pound that's ever lived.
Yeah.
And he beat him in the gi as a black belt.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
People always talk about that. When Aldo was coming over to the UFC, they were like, "Oh, look at this striker, but look, you want to see his jiu-jitsu. It's unbelievable." But you never see
You
it.
see it. You never fucking see it.
Yeah.
The only time you kind of saw it for a second was against a little bit against Hominick, and then also against the is it Chang? Well, what's the guy's name? Damn it.
Chan Sung Jung, Korean zombie.
He's Korean, I believe.
The
that
Korean-
guy that broke his arm.
The Korean zombie, Chan Sung Jung.
Yeah. So remember after he broke his arm, he took him down and then just ripped through him like a knife through butter? You got to see a little bit of his grappling, but man, not much. He
Yeah.
used it for takedown defense, but that's not the same. It's really
Yeah.
not. There's not, but there haven't been these like Damian Maya moments or Ortega or Khabib or the other best grapplers, you know?
Yeah.
It just doesn't, you don't see it at all. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's one of them fights though, isn't it? It's like if this happened a few years ago, you'd be saying Jose Aldo wins this hands
Yeah, hands
down
down,
easily.
Yeah.
Even just based on style, I don't see anywhere really that Jeremy Stevens wins apart from he lands something. But now who knows, because Jose Aldo has just had 2 of the worst finishes of his career, as in on the worst end of finishes on his career. Like Max Holloway beat him up.
Bit
He
snarl
broke
him,
him.
yeah, he did, yeah.
Broke him twice.
He's had his chin cracked 3 times now, too bad.
Holy Jesus, yeah.
And after 3, it seems like for whatever reason, the third one is like, I think about like throughout my lifetime, right? Chuck Liddell. I think of like Roy Jones, guys whose chins just went from granite to shit. It's usually like the after 3 rule.
Shogun.
So don't be surprised if something that doesn't look like a blast from, whatever, a cannon is what finishes Aldo.
That's
now,
the
I wouldn't be surprised if Aldo wins either, but,
Yeah. The one thing, I'll do a little bit of MMA maths, and not the exact usual way to do it, but like, Renato Moicano, who beat Jeremy Stephens a few fights ago, isn't a million miles away from the type of fighter that Jose Aldo is. And Jeremy Stephens had trouble with him.
Henan Barrel.
Henan Barrel a little bit, yeah. Not a million miles away from the type of fighter. It's somebody that Jeremy Stephens would have trouble with. So you could kind of say that, but obviously it doesn't work.
The thing I'd say with this is, I don't think Aldo, as you were alluding to, Brendan, with finishes, I don't think Aldo will finish Jeremy Stephens, but if Jeremy Stephens lands, he could turn the lights out on Jose Aldo.
That's the thing.
I think that's the difference.
He could land to a shelled Aldo and hurt him. Yeah. He's got that kind of power.
But
he really does.
Do you know what's really weird? Like, I remember watching before McGregor fought Jose, right? And when Conor was scheduled to match, maybe he was like, oh yeah, he's all that hype that went on and all. And you were there going, no, man, you have no idea how good Jose Aldo is. But now when you see Jose Aldo, when Bruce Buffer's introduced him and he stood there, he looks like a shell of his former self. He looks fragile. He looks fragile.
He does, yeah.
Even
his body is
in the Conor fight.
Yeah. He was fought.
Nervous. I was like, is he nervous?
He looked like he was.
The camera
he was done.
Panning,
it looked like he didn't sleep for
up at the camera.
Yeah.
And he always puts his head down up until it's time to fight. Yeah. He looked up at the camera through the
He looks like a broken man.
He looked like he didn't sleep for about 3 or 4 days before that fight. He just looked.
He fucking hated Conor with every muscle in his body,
Yeah.
And then to lose like that.
Yeah,
I think he broke him, man.
He did break him, and that's my thing, is that he does look at the shell of himself. But like as you said as well, Brandon, he did have a good showing. Like against Frankie Edgar, he looked great. He was doing well against Max Holloway.
Doing great. His performance against Frankie Edgar,
it's bizarre.
He looked unbelievable against Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, so it's a weird one. Like I can see Aldo. If Aldo wins this, he wins by decision. Jeremy Stephens though could absolutely take his head off though. That's the problem.
I don't know.
For me, this is actually a
what's your
flip
pick?
of a
What's
fight.
your pick?
If this was pre-Conor, it's Jose Aldo and he'll absolutely destroy him. Right now, I'm gonna go Jeremy Stephens. I just don't have confidence in picking Jose Aldo. But if Jose Aldo turns up,
it's tough.
75.
This is a wicked hard call.
Yeah, I think if
it
was Jose Aldo of 75% of 5 years ago, Jose Aldo, he wins this fight.
I think so too.
But I don't think we even see 75%.
I think Jeremy Stephens has made a lot of improvements. His leg kicks have been looking really good. Can he land them against Jose Aldo? I don't know.
He's had a nice head kick too.
Yeah. Oh man, who wins?
Fucking flying knee against.
I don't know. I don't know who wins this fight.
I'll pick first. I'll pick in this one.
Go for it.
I'm gonna pick Stephens.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Stephens because I think he's hungrier, and I don't think Aldo's looking down the road at anything that excites him anymore. He's talked about leaving 48 times now.
Yeah.
Stephens is finally coming out of his shell, and he's gotten better in the last year than he did in the 6 before that.
I agree.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna pick Stephens, and it's because I picked Shogun last week, and I feel like I'm gonna go with these.
That's the worst pick anyone's ever made in history.
We both picked Shogun.
But
I know why I goofed it.
Yeah. I just thought he was gonna catch him, but
me picking Shogun is like you picking Khabib in 10 years' time.
Oh, but Khabib has never lost.
But in 10 years' time. And he hasn't,
if he was shot worn and all that.
And he hasn't fought Conor yet. Got knocked out yet.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Jose Aldo because there's way too many questions about where he is right now. Yeah. Way too many questions.
We've got another cracker of a fight.
Yeah, quickly.
It's a weird one. Yeah, we got Joanna, champion no longer. Joanna Jedrzejczyk takes on Tecia Torres.
There's another one.
Man,
we might get back together if she wins, so...
These two fights are very similar, aren't they?
Yes, because it's what is Joanna's fragile mind like?
Yeah.
Is she writing?
And is it finally
Tecia Torres is a bitch on her bottle, her water bottle? You know, is she gonna blame a wake up? Is she doing?
I don't think so.
Yeah. This is a weird one, man.
This is a tough one as well.
I want her to find out everything about her too.
Yeah.
I think Joanna's she looks very chill lately.
Yeah.
She looks like whatever was going on before, where she was trying to Conor it, if you will.
Yeah.
She went a little theatric with things, let's say, right? And
she was believing her own hype. Do you think she was just believing her own hype?
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, but aren't they to us the same in a way? Either way, it's a bad scenario.
Yeah.
You want someone. You don't have to be George, right? Because most people can't pull that off. You don't have to be Connor either. But some middle ground's cool. You know what I'm saying? You got to be confident, not afraid. But to what extent? You know, if she goes in there, let's say she underestimates, she's done. Any of these girls now, because they've seen enough film on her that she's not gonna. It's not gonna be a surprise. Maybe her grappling's gotten a little better. I think Rose is a bad stylistic matchup, though, so I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a savage fucking Joanna come out and just start cutting her up with elbows against the fence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't be surprised at all. I mean, it's a weird stylistic matchup to picture her overpowering her to the fence, but it is what it is.
Am I right in saying these are both out of ATT?
Oh, could be.
I don't know if Tecia's still there, but Joanna
I think Tecia has some kind of affiliate with them. I think she was at least training with them for a while.
There are like 3 of them in Florida, though, so I don't know if they're at the same one. Yeah. Coconut Creek's the main one. That's the one I've been to. Yeah. But there's a Doral, and there's one more, too.
Just as I'm doing that, I'm clicking on the Topology, and both of them have American Top Team, Coconut Creek, Florida.
Yeah, so.
That's the main gym. That's where Poirier's out of. That's
I think Tecia.
Where Laborio was forever.
I'm pretty sure Tecia moved away. I think Tecia is training now with Raquel Pennington somewhere. I think they have their own kind of setup going on.
Interesting. But you know what? If they train there together at any point, then they've sparred.
Yeah.
That's what I was
always
saying.
Makes for interesting fights, usually anyway.
That's what I was saying, that with Cowboy Cerrone's scheduled to fight Mike Perry, and Cowboy has gone off and does his stuff in his ranch, but now Mike Perry's training out of Jackson Wink, so it's like getting a video game and somebody giving you all the cheats. This is what you do to win, you know.
Yeah. It feels like this to Cowboy.
It does, a little bit, yeah. He won't care.
No, he won't care. He'll have a Bud Light.
What's convinced me to pick? I'm gonna just pick Joanna in this one, but you know it's one of them weird ones. I think her performance the second time against Rose showed me that she wasn't done. It was a good performance. She did lose the fight. There was a few, I think, Polish people saying, "Oh, Joanna won that." She didn't win it, but she did look good. She got
lay off the vodka, Poland.
She did look good. It wasn't like Jose Aldo going in there against Max Holloway getting finished and then getting finished again and then possibly be done. I think Joanna looked good enough in that fight to say she probably still beats most of the girls in that division. Tecia's on a good run, but I feel like Joanna.
Not for lost, Tecia Torres.
Yeah, but I feel like Joanna, if she fights the way she used to fight, or even she fights like she fought in that fight, she probably wins the fight. I'll go with that.
I think the mystique of Joanna Jedrzejczyk is broken.
I agree,
but I'm picking her because I don't think the mystique being broke for her is also good for her. Because like what we were saying, I think she thought she was invincible. I totally think she underestimated Rose Namajunas in the first fight. Yeah. That's why you're seeing a better shown in the second fight. I think we're going to see a hungry Joanna here. And you might see some beautiful clinch tie work and some nice little elbows.
If she gets them like this, it's over. Yeah. Her tie clinch is as good as anyone's really in the game.
I'm going to go with Joanna getting back in the win.
Carolina, Valentina Shevchenko. A lot of women with really good clinches in the game. Yeah. I think Joanna's going to smoke her.
Yeah. Nice.
I think we're going to see a return, man.
I think so too.
I think people are remembering the second fight with Rose being way more dominant than it was.
Yeah.
It was a little closer than I think people tend to recall, because the first one's so fresh too.
Yeah.
They almost blend into each other, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
It's like
it's like they become this symbiotic fight, and they're very different fights.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly.
I think Rose stylistically is just a nightmare for her.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have won that fight too. She came pretty damn close. She was leg kicking the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Which is what she'll probably do coming up. Stay long, leg kick. She does the Badr Hari, the jab, right leg kick, jab, right leg kick. You get too close, she'll try to tie clinch. If she can't, she'll underhook and try to get out of there. Usually, she, who knows now.
Time is of the essence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a under the radar, or a fight that jumps out to me that I'm interested in. What we might promise is, though, I don't know if you have chatted to one another, if you're on the show with Rob during the week, but if you have any further questions and the lads are on any of the fights that we haven't covered today, I'm sure the gentleman will answer. But one that stands out for me is Hakeem Dawodu. Could be saying it wrong. Dawodu, I'm interested in seeing him for the simple reason.
He's a big-time prospect, right?
Yeah, he fought Danny Henry in his UFC debut, and the reason why I'm looking forward to it is he's actually training out of SPG here in Dublin as well. well. So
cool.
I'm hearing a lot of stories about him and just how much of an animal he is. So that's for that reason alone, I'm actually looking forward to seeing him showcasing it, because he got caught early by Danny Henry, former guest of the show.
He was also a beast.
Who was also an absolute beast and got finished. So I'm looking forward to seeing Hakeem
James
get in
Dillon
there
prospect.
to see what he can do.
Yeah, my fight is definitely the fight on the main card. It's the Alex Hernandez against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. I think that's Brendan as well. Alex Hernandez, his debut.
He looked fucking amazing.
His debut in the UFC couldn't have gone better against a better guy, really. Beneil Dariush.
Short notice.
Yeah, and he moved around him like I don't know, a wasp sting a spider or something. He was just moving around way too fast for Dariush.
Yeah,
and that finishing strike was brilliant.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
That's a great fight,
It was
man.
a fake jab, and then I think left hand. Is he a southpaw?
But he did like a shift. He shifted his feet along the way.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
He covered the ground just wonderfully.
Yeah, that's I think that's an excellent fight.
Yeah, that's called like cadenced footwork, where you like go real fast with your feet and then slow it down and burst again. But it's your feet that are cadenced, not your hands, actually.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, man. That's some high-level shit.
But also, I thought Olivier Aubin-Mercier, his last fight against Evan Dunham, was the best we've ever seen him. And that's not me being...
And he was
Joe
rocking
Rogan does
an amazing tash.
He was rocking an amazing tash. And what's he, like the Canadian gangster or something? He's a funny guy. But
socks and sandals.
His movement, there was a lot of times where he reminded me of like Michael Chiesa, where like he strikes a little bit, but like he looks awkward and just throws these long strikes. But in that fight, I just thought his movement was really good. Yeah, pretty much. I thought his movement was really, really good. He looked slick, and he landed a really nice knee to the stomach and dropped him. Really good fight.
He looks very strong, and I think he's like a grappler. Very good mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
He can do everything pretty well.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular.
Yeah. By the way, just a quick one. Alex Hernandez just when he came into the UFC, they probably fight completely different than I guess they do. But when he first came in, his debut reminded me a little bit of Gregor Gillespie. You know Gregor Gillespie, the Frankie Edgar kind of thing. Please do a breakdown on him, Brendan. Please. Request.
Yeah, I'll get a lot of views.
Yeah, please do it. I like that guy.
Who?
Gregor
Gillespie?
Yes.
That would get 6 views.
I want to see it though.
I love the guy.
Yeah.
But
I don't care about views. Do it for me. Just send it to me personally in my Dropbox or something.
I'll send you my PayPal.
I want to do a breakdown on Brendan's shop as
because no one ever requests breakdown. Jack, keep them coming, guys.
Yeah, Brendan's shop.
Come on, Brendan.
Yeah.
The guy that won the chess competition, that breakdown. I'm doing one for him today. It's almost done. Almost.
Can you say who that is? Well, this is gonna be out tomorrow, so you can.
No, it's not someone famous. It's someone that commented in the section. They broke down my breakdown of the chess is jiu-jitsu.
All right.
Because I use so many chess terms because I play chess.
Yeah.
So that was the crossover, and I'm like, I had put in the video or in the comments, whoever breaks down how I use chess to, like, the terms to make sense to what's going on with the jiu-jitsu. There was an overlay, and someone broke it down wonderfully. It's a top comment on that video. Check it out.
Is this
They won. I asked them what they wanted. They wanted Buakaw. Some of them I've never broken down, and I'm going to do it voiceover.
Sorry, that's what I meant. I was wondering who you're breaking down. What was your breakdown? That's what I was wondering.
Buakaw,
Cool. Looking forward to
Buakaw Benchamek, formerly Porpamuk.
And if you haven't checked Brendan Dorman's channel out, do it now, because its show's about to end with Brendan, so no better time than now. So just type in Brendan Dorman and you will see him. Hit subscribe. Of course, Rogan famous, and if you have an argument on Twitter, he will argue back. That's Brendan Dorman. Brendan, it's been an absolute pleasure as always chatting to you, my man. I watched actually the BJJ and MMA chess match with Ting. That was an amazing. You didn't really take into. Gunny's jiu-jitsu was incredible in that fight as well. Like his defense was phenomenal to do, and then Moya's adjustments, knowing what how Gunny it was chess. It was.
Would you have the
really best MMA jiu-jitsu fight?
That one was. What's up, bud?
The best MMA jiu-jitsu fight? Would you say?
Yeah, the best example is in the way that it's stalemated because it didn't have a finish. Yeah, there was a last-second finish maybe, but I can't think of a better one off the top of my head. It was so like watching two masters. You know what I mean? They cancel out a lot, but watching like the adjustments each made. Like the thing I pointed out about like the crossover pass from the rear leg that Gunny likes to do, kind of from one half guard to the other to like reverse case up. The second time Maya sits up with the momentum to block his hip, like. Dude, that is so... Just that. He's just blocking a fucking hip to the average person.
Yeah.
But to me, that's magic.
You're such
that's
a nerd.
That was you. You know the gif of the Family Guy where the dad's sitting in the computer. And that was you exploding.
Is that not
the
South Park?
South Park.
Yeah.
The joke I was going to make there when I the timing was ruined, but when I went the best MMA and I went I was going to say Kimbo versus Dada. That was
I lost him.
That got all the shits.
Yeah.
He's probably going to come back on with explicit conversation. But if not, that was Brendan Dorman. I'm sure we can text him and say
that's a perfect time.
Thanks,
that's a perfect
Brendan.
place to end it.